beneath the slate-gray waves of the Black Sea, just beyond the battered Bulgarian coastline. Something ancient sleeps in the silence below. On nights when lightning rakes the water and storms churn the silt, fleeting glimpses of right angles and shadowy columns emerge from the gloom, etched against the shifting seafloor. Sonar reveals what the human eye cannot: stretches of hewn stone, clustered walls, and wide, eroded steps spiraling down into a darkness no living memory recalls. Here lies a paradox that defies accepted timelines. Monuments submerged in a world that, according to mainstream history, should have been barren and wild. Some suggest these ruins predate Sumer itself, raising the unthinkable. Was there a civilization here thriving on the coast before recorded time, swept away by a cataclysmic flood? Others argue what's found is no more than geological tricks, natural formations misread by hopeful minds eager for lost grandeur. Yet fringe researchers whisper of bones and glyphs retrieved by divers, of symbols never matched to any known culture. Local legends speak of a city punished for its pride, devoured by the sea for ancient sins, while officials move quickly to close off the site, sealing access and silencing reports. Historians dispute the significance. Are these remnants of a forgotten people, or merely rocks battered into shape by eons of water? Still, the questions linger, impossible to banish. Who built these temples in the shadow of the Black Sea? What knowledge or secrets were meant to sleep beneath the waves? And if this civilization was truly erased, was it nature's wrath or someone's willful hand that consigned it to darkness? Within the labyrinthine shadows of ancient Syracuse, where the golden Sicilian sunlight struggles to penetrate the crumbling arches of forgotten storerooms, a peculiar silence seems to cling to the dust. Here, behind stacks of broken amphorae and shards of marble, a scroll lies unfurled, its brittle parchment inked with visions no mind of the era should have dared. Intricate gears meshing in perfect synchrony, pulleys driving unearthly machines, and most audaciously sketches that hint at beams of concentrated sunlight, an engine of war so advanced it borders on sorcery. The very existence of these blueprints unsettles our faith in the neat order of technological progress. Some maintain that Archimedes, revered for his brilliance, had ventured further than any inventor before him, crafting wonders whose time had not yet come. Others suggest that the tales of death rays and mechanical marvels are embellishments, fantasies conjured by later chroniclers to burnish his legend. Yet fringe theorists insist these devices were real, suppressed after the Roman conquest to prevent chaos or challenge imperial power. There are those who point to tantalizing fragments preserved only in Arabic translations, arguing that knowledge was spirited eastward as Europe descended into the Dark Ages. Historians remain divided, torn between reverence and skepticism, while engineers wonder what else might have slipped through the cracks of history. Was the disappearance of these inventions an accident of war, or a calculated act to keep their secrets contained? Could there be more hidden manuscripts yet undiscovered in ancient libraries? And what might the world have become if Archimedes' true genius had not been buried, deliberately or by fate, in the dust of conquered Syracuse? Beneath the rolling ochre hills and honeycombed cliffs of Cappadocia, the earth yawns open to a darkness older than any map or monument above. Torchlight flickers across tunnels that spiral endlessly downward, revealing chambers carved by vanished hands, vast halls, labyrinthine passages, wells that plunge into blackness, all hidden far below a landscape once alive with ancient volcanoes. Here, in the cold hush of Derinkuyu, an entire city sprawls in secrecy. Stables for livestock, kitchens and schools, rooms for worship, all connected by shafts that breathe air from the surface as if the city itself clings to forgotten life. It is a riddle carved in stone. How could such a feat exist beneath an Anatolian plateau, with engineering that modern architects struggle to explain. Some maintain these caverns sheltered desperate villagers from invading armies, while others propose the design was too complex for mere survival. Perhaps they say it was built to hide something deeper, a sanctuary from a cosmic threat, or a memory so dangerous it had to be entombed. Fringe theorists whisper about lost civilizations with knowledge we can't imagine. Local tales suggest holy men or even beings not of this world carved the first levels. Scholars remain divided, arguing over timelines, tools, and motive, while new scans hint at even deeper realms, sealed off, untouched, immune to time. Why did the architects descend so far, fortifying their secret worlds with massive rolling doors? What knowledge or terror waits in those unexcavated shadows? And is it possible that somewhere beyond the reach of light, the real story of Derinkuyu is still waiting, silent and sealed, to be found? Above the lush, mist-shrouded jungles and sun-baked plains of the Indian subcontinent, legends drift on the wind. Tales of chariots that soared not across land but through the heavens. In temple shadows and ancient Sanskrit epics, the Vimanas are described in astonishing detail. Flying palaces gleaming with unknown alloys, armed with weapons that burn brighter than the sun. Piloted by sages and kings in wars that rage across the sky. It is a vision so fantastical it should have been confined to myth, yet buried in forgotten manuscripts and stone friezes diagrams appear, instructions for metals lighter than iron, sketches of propulsion systems that echo the science of rockets and ion engines. Some maintain these are poetic metaphors, allegories for spiritual ascension. Others, however, claim there is more, that lost technologies once existed, knowledge erased by time or suppressed by design. Fringe theorists propose the ancient rishis possessed aeronautical wisdom far beyond their era, hidden away before invading empires and colonial rulers arrived. Meanwhile, government agencies and modern scientists who attempt to investigate these claims too deeply often encounter bureaucratic obstacles, missing documents, or subtle pressure to abandon their search. Historians dispute whether these descriptions are imaginative literature or coded blueprints, while skeptics point to a lack of physical evidence as reason to dismiss the entire story. Yet the enigma endures. If these blueprints were truly ahead of their time, why do official reports vanish? Was a culture of innovation deliberately smothered by colonial authorities or ancient priesthoods? And could the secrets of flight, once inscribed on palm leaves and temple walls, still be hidden, waiting to ignite the skies once more? In the labyrinthine bazaars and echoing forges of medieval Damascus, hammers once rang out over glowing crucibles, shaping steel that shimmered like flowing water beneath torchlight. Swords of this lost art, Damascus blades, could cleave silk in midair, carve through rival metals and survive battle after battle untarnished. It is a legend made tangible by artifacts, yet the truth hides in shadow. Today, not a single smith alive knows the real recipe. This is the paradox, an achievement so advanced that modern scientists, centuries later, found traces of carbon nanotubes woven in the steel's grain, a molecular architecture that should not have existed before the age of laboratories. Some whisper that jealous guilds guarded the secret, destroying apprenticeships and scrolls as dynasties fell. Others claim the recipe vanished amidst religious upheaval and colonial conquest, lost as empires rose and fell, with some even suggesting that knowledge was deliberately stolen or suppressed to tilt the balance of power. Fringe researchers insist that the formula was not only hidden, but actively erased to prevent rival kingdoms from challenging military supremacy. Historians dispute whether it was simple chance or intentional sabotage that sealed the method away, while metallurgists remain baffled by the skill encoded in each surviving blade. Yet the enigma endures. Did a lone master take the secret to his grave, or was there a coordinated conspiracy to consign it to oblivion? Could there be undiscovered texts waiting in forgotten libraries with cryptic instructions for forging perfection? And if this lost science was found again, what would it reveal? Not just about metallurgy, but about the true ambitions and fears of those who ruled the ancient world. Beneath the searing Mesopotamian sun, where the winds sift ancient secrets from the dunes, the ruins of Nineveh rise from the dust, a city once thought lost to time, now haunted by the silent echo of vanished voices. Here, amid toppled palaces and half-buried ziggurats, Victorian explorers cracked open chambers lined with shelves of clay tablets, each one pressed with cuneiform script so dense it seemed to pulse with memory. Many tablets were shattered, their fragments scattered among the rubble, as if someone had tried to erase knowledge by force. Yet even in ruin, the library yielded blueprints of machines, star maps more accurate than modern astronomers believed possible, and cryptic lines some maintain hint at beings who descended from the heavens. Some scholars believe these records were the apex of ancient wisdom, a civilization's desperate attempt to preserve their understanding before an unknown calamity. Others claim the references to celestial visitors are metaphors, misunderstood poetry twisted by modern eyes. Fringe researchers insist the deliberate destruction points to a coordinated effort to keep forbidden knowledge out of reach. Stories of lost sciences and alien contact too dangerous for later empires. There are those who quietly suggest that what was not destroyed was swiftly removed, locked away in museums and private collections, untranslated, guarded by a secrecy that spans generations. Yet the enigma endures. Why did so many tablets vanish into vaults, never to be seen again? What truths about the past, or perhaps the cosmos, did these scribes inscribe for future eyes? And if even fragments of these forbidden texts remain hidden from the world, what might they reveal about the origins of civilization and the forces that shaped our earliest myths? Deep in the tangled jungles and mist-laced river valleys of ancient Mesoamerica, the Olmec civilization carved their legacy into basalt, a silent parade of colossal stone heads, each face unique, some bearing features unlike any seen in the region today. Moss creeps over brow ridges and lips as rain patters on statues half swallowed by earth. Yet it is not only their expressions that confound, but their very existence. How could a civilization with limited tools shape and transport monoliths weighing up to 50 tons across miles of swamp and dense forest? Some believe these heads are evidence of long-forgotten contact, proof of visitors from distant continents, their likenesses frozen in volcanic rock. Others argue they are simply masterpieces of artistic imagination, or that ancient Olmec society was more diverse than we understand. Fringe theorists propose that the vanished heads once revealed even stranger truths. Genetic anomalies, lost dynasties, or foreign bloodlines erased from the record. In the early 1900s, explorers cataloged dozens more heads than exist today. Some whisper they were quietly removed by governments or institutions wary of rewriting pre-Columbian history. Scholars remain divided. Are these missing faces evidence of an inconvenient past, or merely lost to looters, time, and the relentless encroachment of jungle? Still, the questions linger. Who were the real models for these mysterious visages? What secrets vanished with the heads that have disappeared? And if these monoliths hold answers about the Olmec world, or worlds beyond, why are we left only with empty pedestals and silence where their stories once stood? In the parched expanse of Egypt's Fayum Depression, where the wind whips across endless dunes and the air shimmers with desert heat, a spectral rumor lingers just beneath the surface, literally and figuratively. As the sun sets, the landscape is painted in deep golds and shadows, revealing only what the shifting sands allow. Some claim that buried in this stark wilderness lies a monument unlike any other. A vast black stone pyramid, darker than obsidian, its angles swallowed by time and secrecy. It is an impossibility. No known pharaoh claimed such an edifice, no hieroglyph marks its plans, and yet the legend persists. Explorers' notebooks from the 19th century reference a monolithic structure briefly exposed after a sandstorm, only to be swiftly reburied either by natural forces or by human hands desperate to keep it hidden. Fringe researchers propose this could be the lost tomb of an erased dynasty, holding relics and records powerful enough to destabilize our entire understanding of Egyptian history. Others argue the Black Pyramid is a mirage of wishful thinking, a trick of satellite images and fevered imaginations hungry for lost wonders. Local villagers whisper of cursed ground, where animals refuse to graze and night brings strange lights. Egyptologists remain sharply divided, some dismissing the tale, others admitting privately that sealed excavations dot the region's map. And yet the enigma endures. If the Black Pyramid truly exists, who built it and what compelled its erasure? What secrets might its stones hold, rituals, technologies, or forbidden rulers so threatening they warranted immediate concealment? And if all trace of it has been systematically erased, who or what still keeps watch beneath the sands? And why does its shadow persist in the memories of the desert? Beneath the boundless night skies of the Australian outback, where the Milky Way blazes across an ink-black canvas and every horizon shimmers with ancient heat, the land itself tells stories older than written language. Scattered across remote rock faces, aboriginal star maps stretch in tangled constellations, spirals, lines, and glyphs pecked by hands whose names are long forgotten. These engravings do not merely chart the heavens. They encode lunar cycles, shifting seasons, and the rise and fall of constellations unseen by modern eyes. It is a paradox that unsettles. How could such profound astronomical knowledge predate the construction of Stonehenge or the pyramids, emerging instead from cultures dismissed by colonizers as primitive? Some suggest these maps are the world's first scientific records, proof that Aboriginal Australians tracked cosmic rhythms with precision lost to later civilizations. Others argue the etchings are simply mythic art, spiritual rather than empirical, their true meanings forever obscured by the passage of time. Fringe researchers insist that, in the 1800s, colonial officials seized or destroyed many of these stones to erase evidence of an inconvenient sophistication, labeling them pagan and silencing elders who could interpret their secrets. Astrophysicists now analyze surviving carvings and are stunned by their accuracy, sparking debates among historians and astronomers alike. Yet the enigma endures. Why did so many maps vanish into private hands or government vaults? Could there be lost knowledge about eclipses, migrations, or cosmic events still hidden in untouched caves? And if the first astronomers on Earth were not priests in Babylon but storytellers under southern stars, how does that change everything we think we know about our beginnings? Beneath the gilded domes and echoing marble halls of Vatican City, a labyrinth stretches into darkness, vaulted passageways and locked chambers, watched over by silent guards and shrouded in centuries of secrecy. Behind these fortified walls, legend insists, lies an archive untouched by sunlight, the Forbidden Collection, a library rumored to cradle scrolls from civilizations erased by time, artifacts plucked from the ruins of mythic cities, and manuscripts whose very words could upend the accepted story of humanity. Some whisper of Atlantean tablets etched with forgotten science, or gospels banished for defying doctrine. Others maintain there are mechanical marvels, strange devices unearthed from beneath deserts and oceans preserved far from public eyes. Fringe researchers propose the Vatican's vaults contain lost maps, evidence of ancient contact with distant continents, and even prophecies never revealed. Scholars still debate the scope and contents of these sealed rooms, their access fiercely controlled, their inventory a closely guarded mystery. Occasionally, a single relic or tattered page escapes, bearing an unfamiliar script or depicting wonders unknown to modern archaeology, igniting speculation and controversy that ripple through academic circles. And yet, the mystery remains. What truths lie hidden, awaiting discovery or destruction? Who decides what is preserved, what is concealed, and why is the world's greatest repository of knowledge kept so resolutely closed? If the answers are here, in shadowed vaults beneath the heart of power, what revelations or terrors wait to be unearthed, and how would they reshape our understanding of where we came from, and what secrets our history still hides? In the fading light between dusk and memory, the ancient world stands shrouded in mist. Ruins half buried in sand, scrolls locked away in vaults, legends etched in stone and then forgotten. Across continents and centuries, the evidence accumulates not just in what we uncover, but in what has been swept aside, rewritten, or kept secret. Some believe our greatest discoveries are yet to come, sleeping beneath the waves or hidden in sealed archives, while others claim that power has always meant control, not only over people but over knowledge itself. Fringe researchers insist that the patterns are unmistakable. Every era, every civilization selects which truths are preserved and which are consigned to oblivion, not by accident, but by intent. Historians dispute how much has been lost by chance and how much by design, their voices lost amid the clamor of shifting timelines and vanishing artifacts. And yet the enigma endures, growing deeper with every question we ask and every story that refuses to fade. How many wonders were erased before they could change our understanding of who we are? What secrets remain buried not by the hand of time, but by the will of those who preferred darkness to light? And if the final chapter of history has not been written, whose version of the past are we truly living in, and what truths are still waiting in the shadows, silently daring us to seek them out?